What's your take on why is off-road taken off while on-road is suffered for the last 10 years or whatever it's been?
I wish I had a good answer. The best thing I can say is Traxxas came out with their Slash, and that brought a bunch of younger people in. Um, and those guys can go into a hobby shop, buy a Slash, take it out in their backyard, take it out in the street, jump it off of curbs, do all that sort of stuff. You can't do that with your F1 cars, or well, I mean, you could, I guess. You wouldn't want to with your F1 cars or my touring car or anything like that. So, I want to say it's because the younger kids can just take them out in the yard and bash around with them. So it's a bigger draw, and then taking it off of sweet jumps too. Everybody
Yeah,
likes
you
doing
can do
that.
that, and then you can take it to the track and race it.
Yeah. The
Makes
the
sense.
kicker is, and the part that I don't understand is you spend way more on tires and equipment in off road than you do in on road. Even though an off road kit costs less,
Yeah.
you burn through so many tires at a big race. You go to an on road
Yeah.
race and you get touring car tires. You buy two or three sets for the entire weekend to get you through practice and the qualifying and the mains. Um, if you go run a big off road race, you're hundreds and hundreds of dollars into just your tire bill for the weekend race. So
That's
I
what
don't
I
know how
heard.
people do it. I don't know why they do it. I feel bad for the dads that show up with two and three
Yeah,
kids and they're spending $1,000 just for a big weekend race.
that's crazy. And the fact they do, though, is why so many of the companies have focused more on off-road, I'm sure, because
Oh
there's that
yeah,
much money being poured into it.
yeah, yeah. Chase the money. That's what smart business owners do.
It makes sense. I mean, I feel bad. These Accelerate tires are at their peak for one race day. And after that, I can run them still for a couple of club nights, and they're still pretty good, but I'm definitely getting a new set for the next series race. And I feel bad telling people that they got to buy a new set every time we run a series race, but like they are the best when they're pretty new. So, and that's $60 once a month
Uh,
compared to
Josh
off
is
road
right.
seems really cheap.
Yeah,
I did
that
a.
that is pretty cheap in the grand scheme of if you're going to race anything besides RC cars.
Yeah.
It is kind of nice for some of our other carpet classes like USGT or anything that uses a gravity type C. They kind of last a while and relatively affordable. So,
Yeah, definitely. And I don't want to say they get better with age, but they definitely don't get a whole lot worse. From run 3 to 30 or 50, I don't think you lose any time.
Hmm.
yep.
That's pretty cool. Well, what I thought it'd be fun to kind of do a bit of a weekend wrap up uh, on the Silverstone race with you guys. It Yeah, I don't know. Did you guys have any kind of impressions, race one to race two? What we did better, what turnout. I don't know, just anything that really jumped out to either one of you guys.
Well, the turnout was a little bigger for race 2, right?
It was, yeah,
Yeah, I think we had more Porsche cars for sure
yep,
than week 1 or than race 1. I thought you guys did a great job. Like every time I go in there, I'm just blown away by the effort that is constantly put in. So
I,
I have zero complaints. It's a nice quick race day. You did a driver's meeting, answered all the questions. No complaints whatsoever.
that's awesome.
I mean, if you want to tear the building down and put up one twice the size,
Is that your only suggestion?
Yeah.
that's the only
We
one.
got a
It's not a big
box. You
one.
can
I
put that in the
mean,
suggestion box. It's right here.
Put
right
my
by the
name on
garbage
that
can.
too.
Yeah. Well, I
If
am
only it
dreaming
was that
about
easy.
what the future can hold, Josh. I do have 40 acres, so there is a there's a thought in my head of putting an outdoor track out. Um, and I mean, we could figure out how long we want the straight to be and kind of work backwards from there. Um, my thought is it's kind of cool having like well the Kelly Moss guys should all be here for races 3 and 4, I believe, because They were at Coda last weekend, so they couldn't make the
We might get
Silverstone
some
race
of
that night.
those 608 guys too, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Should
those
be
guys
fun.
should be here for the third, and fourth race too. Um, but um, they work at Kelly Moss, which is basically that's a whole group of gentleman drivers, right? So like Josh, if you've got an extra $1 million, you can go buy a Porsche and run the series for that with them for the year. It's probably more than that. I don't know how much it costs. Depends how many times you crash. I know that. But my thought is like, well, okay, I know those cars are $300,000-$400,000, and if let's say in a few years I can get to a spot where that could be an option for me, which is one of my business goals is to be able to hit a milestone like that. And rather than buying another Porsche, what if I built a killer track out here that we could all play with for the next 20, 30 years? To me, that
Oh
sounds
yeah.
way more fun than just having a car, sitting in the garage, you know? So that's what I'd like to do.
If you build it, they will come.
Yes,
Yeah,
they will. They absolutely will.
that'd be awesome. I'd love to do that. So, which, I mean, that's already happening here. And that's just, I enjoy this so much. And it's, we've talked about the vibe here, and I've been to other tracks where it's somebody gets frustrated, and then everyone starts you can tell they're kind of the big dog there, and everyone starts to kind of get down when, it's like everyone kind of follows the mood of one or two people, you know what I mean? And I get why that happens, but at the same time, I think that if there's a solid enough foundation of guys here, that hopefully won't happen. And I think we've been able to do that. The first 2 or 3 years that we had this track, we kind of kept it exclusive, like Fight Club. That's what we used to refer to it as, um, like Dan and Chris and some of the guys would go race at some other places, and it was like wasn't that right, Dan? Like you wouldn't
It
talk
was
about
like
it in front of other.
by it was kind of like invite only, I guess, at the time,
Yeah,
but yeah.
which
Well,
my
I
kids
was
were
excited when
younger.
you started
We were figuring out what
letting
we
the
were going to do
normies
with
come
it,
in.
so we wanted to just be careful with it, I guess. And I think it was 2.5 years ago, if I remember right. We did our first. I think we turned the Facebook group public, and you still have to like be allowed into it or whatever. But now everyone
It
can
was
see
searchable
it,
now.
searchable.
Yeah.
That's it. And then started, allowing some of these other um, larger regional events, that kind of thing. But because we had that core group of guys, I think we've been able to really kind of set the tone for when people come in. And it's
Yeah,
just
and that's
been
one of
a
the
ton of
things that
fun.
I told you. Yeah, you guys do a great job at that, at not letting the hardcore racers that take things too seriously take
Mm.
the place over. I feel like
Yeah,
that's been the downfall of a lot of the tracks, a lot of the RC tracks around, is when the hardcore racers take over and nobody's having fun anymore.
yeah, yeah. That's it's an interesting balance because we're racers. Like all three of us are racers. Like that's my favorite thing. That's one of my favorite things about doing all of this is like I want really good racing. Rob King beat me in all three qualifiers, and I loved it. I was like, all right, man, let's go. And I finally figured out my tire sauce prep for the main, and I was right on his butt. And it was so that's like the most fun thing for me is that super close racing where you're trying to look for a place to pass or you're pressuring the guy so he pressured him into a mistake or something like that. And I like to think that I pressured him into the mistake that happened. Actually, it was traffic that he ran into, so it wasn't. But in my mind, I think I pressured him. right? So I'm going to take
We
a little
can
bit of
go with
credit
your
for that.
version.
No, Rob's a great racer. It's a lot of fun racing against him. Grateful for the guys like that come up and make treks. So,
Yeah, there's been plenty of times where I had to remind myself that whether I finish first or fifth or 45th, my life isn't going to change.
yeah,
I'm still going to go
that's
home to
good.
the same family, the same job, the same everything. My life's not going to be over, and in the same sense, it's not going to get any better.
Yeah,
Whether I leave with a little trophy or a plaque. So and obviously that gets really hard for racers sometimes to keep things in perspective. But that's what I try to live by is your life will not change whether you win or don't win.
yep. That's some good words
So
of
none of
wisdom
us
from
are
you,
getting
Josh.
paid.
That's good.
Oh, it's there was lots of years of being angry or upset or overly happy or all the emotions.
Yeah, and I still get like there's heat of the moment stuff that happens on the driver's stand, and you hit some lap traffic or something like that, and you yell out something that you regret later or something like that. Like that kind of stuff's gonna happen, and I still do that once in a while too. But yeah, you're right. We're racing. I think what's the saying? We're driving toy cars for bowling trophies or something like that. So
I
keep it in
always like to
perspective.
Yeah,
kind of
and
say that. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you also don't want to dismiss everything because everybody's putting in a lot of effort. A lot of the guys are putting in a lot of effort and time and work into it. So it stinks when your race is decided by something that's out of your control.
Yeah,
So that's the only crummy part about it. But again, your life's not going to change. You're just
yeah,
going to have a grumpy drive home, and you'll wake up the next day and your life's going to be exactly how it was the day before.
yeah, yeah. That's
The
right.
day before Rob King took you out, or
That's right.
whatever might
Yeah,
happen.
well, I took him out the first race, unfortunately, and then he hit somebody else. I'm not sure who he hit the last one.
It's gonna get
He's gonna end
spicy
up
for
on the podium.
Monaco.
What's that?
It's gonna get spicy for
Oh
Monaco
yeah,
now.
the drama is building. We're trying to build this up a little bit and get more drama so we get more viewers. Josh.
Drive to survive.
Yeah. I was gonna say. I can't think of it. So the big announcement this last week, just the other day, was the TCS race is there's an official TCS race going to be here.
I saw that. That's
Uh,
awesome. Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. We're big Tamiya fans, and we go to Omaha every year. My son and I love going down there. It's a dude weekend. We go eat pizza and drink soda and race toy cars, and he plays with Legos, and I get to race cars. So to be able to host one here is pretty magnificent. But are we going to be able to get you at that race, Josh? You going to get a Tamiya?
Need a rental ride.
We could get you a rental ride, Josh.
I might have to look into it. I'm not sure I want to do one of the touring car classes, but maybe what else do they have? They've got F1,
You look like a
Yep.
Euro truck kind of guy.
You're a
a
truck.
Euro truck, do a little door slamming.
Yeah.
I might be on board for that.
Euro truck, mini. Yep. There's F1, which they have the new TRF 104. I guess that's about right. That's it. They got a GT1, GT2 class. Those are touring car. Everything else is touring car, right, Dan?
Yeah, we have Formula GTE. That's that weird one.
Yeah. That's kind of dying, though, I think. See, maybe not. But yeah, we should get Josh a sweet Euro truck with like what was Wenzel's? He wanted a Dude Wipes sponsorship on a Euro
Oh
Dude,
truck.
boy.
We thought that'd be a good idea. Get
See
Josh
that you
driving
can't
that.
take Wenzel anywhere.
Yeah. That was a pretty good idea from Mike, though.
It was. So
Yeah.
no dates for the Tamiya series yet?
We're working on it. Fred emailed me today, and we were talking about an April, possibility of an April one, but nothing is confirmed yet. Yeah, that he emailed me just.
Maybe we could at least announce the spec tire for the
Yeah, we can do
touring
that here.
classes is going to be gravity type C. So I think everyone's going to be really happy with that. I know the Tamiya C2 tire is not that great. It's expensive and you still got to glue it.
Yeah, Paul does a great job on his tires. They last a long time. They make pretty decent grip, and it's just he supports every single race series out there and all the racers, and
Yeah.
you have to support him back. I think
Yeah.
that's a great choice.
Yeah, he does such a good job. It's kind of a no-brainer when they left that open to us. Yeah, I hate gluing tires anyway, so the fact that we can run pre-glued tires is fantastic.
Oh, you missed out on the good old days of RC. That was one of the things when I started racing. Paul, little 13-year-old chubby Paul, had to teach me how to glue inserts together because it was
Glue
open cell
inserts?
foam, and they came in a flat, like a big flat section.
Yeah, like a strip
So
of
you had
foam.
to cement them together, rubber cement them together, kind of let it dry and then stick them together and then put them in the tire and then glue the tires. And there was
Hey,
so
Dan,
much going on back then.
you remember, I think it was maybe 5 years ago, I showed you how to glue those Shimizu F1 tires.
Oh yeah, you came over to my house and we sat in my kitchen and we glued up like 4 sets of F1 tires.
We did
Yeah.
those inserts too, and I showed you my trick for that.
For the inserts?
Yeah, it was like those strips, rubber cement, and then packing tape the inside and outside.
Oh yeah. Man, the crazy thing is, like hearing you guys talk about how many people were into touring car back then, and yet you had to go through all that crap, right? Like you can't just buy the nice packaged, fully glued, ready to go tires and bolt them on your car. You had to like go through a whole process of building up your own tires, and yet there was that many people into it. That's crazy.
And the tires weren't even the hard part. It was the motors. You had to pull the motors apart, cut the coms, put in new
True to
brushes
come.
every one run, two runs at big races. The
The
batteries were, you
batteries
had to
are
do
like,
voodoo to batteries. You had to drain
yep,
each cell individually,
Oh,
get them all
jeez.
balanced. Yeah, there was so much going on. You could run a battery once a day. It's not like, what we have now where you just keep, throwing charges in them. You would need, if you wanted to run 6 times in a day, you would need to have 6 batteries
What?
if you wanted
yeah,
max
to get the
performance out of
most
them.
punch. Yeah.
Once a day, but then were they junk, or you could use them again the next weekend
No,
or
they
something?
weren't junk. You would just, let them sit overnight and they'd be okay then at that point.
And
But the
batteries
performance
back,
definitely went down if you ran them multiple times in one day.
yep. And then I think it
Wow.
was early 2000s, each of those you would buy like a match pack and they were like 70 or $80 for a battery.
Yes. Yep. So every one
Jeez.
of the 6 cells had the exact same discharge time and at a very similar discharge voltage.
That's why I ran
So there
nitro
was
back
Wow.
there
then.
was lots of craziness. Yeah. There was so much work to be put in, but I mean, to me, that was part of the fun of it.
Yeah.
Is the wrenching and the tinkering and the all the technical side of it.
I get it because I enjoy the smaller amount that we get to do nowadays. I do enjoy that part of it. And I'm sure that if I started back then, I would, when that's just what everyone else is doing, that's what you do. But having it so easy nowadays, thinking about having to like do all of that just seems insane. So it's
Yeah, I
easier.
don't want to go backwards.
No, yeah,
I'm
good.
I'm I'm good with where we are right now.
That's good. Um, I got one other question for you, Josh. One other idea that Dan and I had, or actually I think I had. So if it's a dumb idea, I'll take the blame. Um, but we were thinking about we love the team aspect that's happening with F1. Um, guys pairing up, but then also like individual drivers who were like, "Oh, I need a teammate," and then I introduce them to somebody else who needs a teammate, and then they're working together on their cars and scheming on their livery and everything like that. It's been really, really a fun, different aspect of racing, and Porsche seems to be generating more interest as guys that want to get into this that are just not F1 drivers, right? They're just like, I'm a touring car guy. And so the thought that I had was, why can't we do teams with the Porsche Cup next year? Not this year, but next year. I thought that would be kind of a fun, bring that element over to the touring car side. We don't want to add more classes. I think it'd be too much. We like I like how the rhythm is right now and what time we get done. So even the out of town guys still have a good amount of time to get home, and it's one day. It's not, as a practice day and then the race day. But it's not a super long day. So, but we thought that adding the team element on the Porsche side, I thought might be a fun idea, and I think Dan thought it was an okay idea too. So, what's your thoughts?
I'm totally on board with that. And I also agree with the format you have right now with the two classes is perfect. We were actually talking about that in the pits on Saturday.
Really?
Somebody mentioned something about adding another class, and 3 or 4 people jumped in and said, "Nope, this is absolutely perfect how it is." It's a nice quick race day. The classes aren't diluted. You
Yeah.
got talent in both classes. Like I think it's absolutely perfect. I think the team idea is perfect, and
Cool.
I would say just keep building on everything that you guys are doing.
Okay. That's good to hear. I appreciate that feedback, man. So cool. Dan, did you have anything else for Josh before we sign off?
No, I think that about wraps it up. Thanks again, Josh, for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for
Oh,
having
I
me.
did. Oh, I had one other thing that I'm going to put you on the spot for, Josh, that I actually don't know that I want to commit to either, but we'll talk about it. I thought it would be great to do. We've done like practice days before, but I thought it'd be great to do. I don't know. We'd name it like have an expert look at your car kind of a day where we could have like the F1 guys, Dan and I, maybe Vu. We could, if Rob's able to come up, um, we could kind of go over people's cars and drive them for them, give them tips, that kind of a thing, like more one-on-one, group on one, whatever. But then also on the touring car side too, if we could rope you into an afternoon or something like that, where we could help some of the other people who are still learning how to set up their cars. Maybe it's just your car's setup is fine. You just need to drive it well, get more laps in, that kind of a thing. But I thought that would be a great idea because I think as we all improve, it just people enjoy it more and we get better. Then we're sharing ideas back and forth as we continue to learn. Um, so yeah, I don't know
I think
if
yeah, that's a great idea. With RC, you don't know what you don't know.
yeah,
Um, so somebody might be out there kicking your butt, and you assume that their car is 10 times better than yours. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But it definitely helps to have other people drive your car, have you drive other people's cars, and just learn what the different feelings are. Um, there's a lot of times where people have just something minimal off with their car, where it needs to go on the gauges, and something's just a little bound up or out of whack, and
sure.
it makes all the difference in the world. And a lot of guys just don't know how precise you have to be with the measurements and everything that you're doing with the touring car. So I think that would be super helpful if we did that, and I'd absolutely be on board with that.
Sweet. I have no idea when it'll happen, but we'll talk.
You could
So,
call it Sprancy Boot Camp, something like
Fancy
that.
Boot Camp. Yeah, we'd be touring. We'd be doing touring car and F1. So it'd have to be just a Spranzy boot camp. Yeah, something. Speed boot camp.
There you go.
Spranzy
Yeah, that's a
speed
better
boot
name.
camp.
Yep,
Spranzy
you're
speed
on to something
specialist.
now.
Come up with something fun. Sweet, Josh. Thanks so much for taking all this time, man. Really enjoy. I just love having you here too, man, and being a part of the race, the series, and feels like you're just such a big supporter. So it means a lot to me. Really appreciate you, and yeah, and your willingness to do this and share all your speed secrets with us that we're never going to release to anyone else.
I wish I actually had some good speed secrets. I just unfortunately don't.
You're good. Appreciate it, man. Sweet. All right, man. Have a good rest of the night. We will we'll see you in a few weeks or whenever the next race is in November.
Okay. Sounds
See you
good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.